Live with boys.
Live. We are live. And LNA AutoWorks is our first comment even before the live stream started.
Jeez, Louise. What did he post?
He just said first comment.
That's accurate. It certainly was.
Yeah. Well. How are y'all doing? Tom, I this might be the first time I've seen you in a ball cap.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I wear all sorts of hats.
You forgot your golfer's cap over there.
Yeah, I'll need that.
Yeah.
For next time I go golfing.
Oh,
Excellent.
It's 30 out today, so it could be
It was 38 today.
He's
38. I could have went golfing, but
Wait. It's your birthday?
No, 38 degrees outside.
Oh, I thought you were saying he just turned 38.
No.
Oh no. That's July.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't talk about my age anymore.
McDonald, how's it going?
What's up, everybody?
What up?
Yo, we've got LNA AutoWorks. Evening, fellas. And we also have Mr. Dill Pickle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Evening. And LNA AutoWorks went to go live earlier and it hit me with the 24-hour hold. Didn't you have that 6%?
Yeah, the first time we tried to set this up, I couldn't go live for 24 hours on YouTube. It's some kind of like the first time you log in thing, I guess. It was saying.
No, nothing about any of that.
What was that?
Oh. What? Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I guess, how are we going to start this one?
Well, you're in charge of this whole shebang here.
Yeah.
Me and 6% bickered in the chat the entire time, and you were the only sensible one. So you were put in charge.
So
we didn't bicker. We fought like old ladies, but I'm right and you're Batman, so.
Wait. That's how we should start. Can we show the Batman picture?
I'll do it. Yeah, you have that? Go for it.
Yeah, I got to find it real quick. But why don't you explain what I'm going to show?
You're spandex Batman in tights. That's what you are. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we did no.
In the Adam West Batman.
Yeah, the Adam West. Yeah, the actual Batman. Yeah.
That's your actual Batman.
The armor to get the job done, right?
He's not the one with the suit with those.
Well, I think it wasn't this new Batman like a Twilight character or something. I don't remember who he was.
Yeah, I think he was a sparkly guy, but that wasn't the point. The point was the car.
The car.
Oh wait, hold on. Did you not ever show? Oh, it was just a short that you had. You just mentioned it in Discord. You didn't share any photos, eh?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You made a short.
No, we just back and forth. It actually started over Hillbrand fuel injection, and then it went off the rails from there. And
yeah.
Basically, he's the old man screaming at I had an onion in my pocket.
I don't want this music. No, exactly. Mechanical fuel injection for the win. That's all I gotta say. That's where the real
still okay. Yeah,
Leroy Jenkins. Exactly.
On mechanical fuel injection. Thanks, buddy.
Witty.
This is what I was talking about. Witty's here.
Oh,
I was talking about this. What were you talking about?
That's 6% Batman right there.
No, that's technically that's carbureted
and highlight.
That's Batman with a slight drinking problem.
I feel like.
Hey, come on, you guys! That is a carbureted Batmobile right there. Don't even give me that crap.
I don't even. I think that's got fuel injection written all over it.
I think Batman
No,
himself
no,
may be
It
carbureted.
doesn't know how to spell
or
fuel injection.
carbonated.
What?
That doesn't even know how to spell fuel injection.
I'm pretty sure it's in a handicap spot. It has to have fuel injection on it. It's got a bat on the. It's got a bat ornament on the
Yeah,
front.
it's spelled fuel injection METH. Yes.
I don't care how you spell it. It's right there. I'm looking right at it. I saw the damn thing in person.
Was it okay? I gotta ask. Was this at Walmart or Dollar General?
No, it was at my work. It was at a grocery store. I
Oh,
come
man.
walking out. I come walking out after a long day of work, and that's the first thing I see as soon as I hit freedom. And I didn't know what to think.
Don't worry, Thumper's already in here. Or, sorry, Thumber's already in here, making it a little mildly odd. So
Oh, okay.
And Dylan asked if it was a Monte Carlo. Was it a Monte Carlo, or is it like a Buick Regal, or do you know what it was?
No idea what it was. I don't think it was either of those.
Almost looked like a Caprice right in.
It was a sedan of some
I don't
sort.
know.
yeah, it looks like it's like a 75, 77 Monte Carlo Buick or Oldsmobile, but they all look kind of the same. Especially, and you can't tell with all that crap that he put on it.
Yeah, it was mid 70s something. That's all I know. Because that's when the mid 70s was when they got all that big bulbous crap
Yeah.
going on.
150 horsepower and a 6,000-pound car. Yep.
Yeah.
It had
Okay,
side pipes. And I don't know if you noticed, the side pipes had the collector flange with the 2 bolts, had it right on the end of the side pipe, had the 2-bolt collector flange.
These are, I didn't get past the why did he have the J.C. Whitney catalog throw up on the back of his car with that? That's a truck cab from the 90s. It went on the
What?
back of a truck cab.
Yeah,
Is
the
it-
little.
What? Did
I
you
know
not
shock.
notice? It's a collector. It's got collector plates on it.
Oh, really? It has collector plates.
It's got and didn't even have one of those handicap things in the window either, I don't think.
Hey,
Might
don't be
be
me.
right.
I got a handicap plate. It does not make me that. Sorry.
No, I'm saying I don't think he had one. He was parked in the handicap spot, but I don't think he had the tag in the window, did he?
He doesn't need one. You just look at that car, they'd know he's handicapped.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's proof enough, right?
That and his pieced together Batman uniform he probably walked in with.
Jeez, right.
We've got some bets in the chat. It looks like LNA Auto Works says it's a 78 Monte Carlo, and
Well, I thought-
Thumper says it's a 77 Grand Prix.
Grand Prix sounds more right to me.
I think
But-
we might have to actually settle this.
You know, I don't wish to ever see it again, but if I do, I can go confirm.
You're going to see it every time you open up your channel page. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, in real life, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, here, let me. Okay, I don't think it's a 78 Monte Carlo because it had 4 headlights, did it not?
Yeah,
No, it's not. It's big. It
Yeah,
was the bigger.
definitely not it was bigger.
It was
Yeah,
bigger.
Five.
Look at the Caprice. I think it's a Caprice. I think
Okay.
that's what got it. Didn't you say that officially? Yeah. The one non-car guy's probably got it right off the bat.
Okay, it's not. Okay, it's definitely not a 77 because the grill was different. But this looks closer.
That looks awfully closer.
That's the general body style, but they made that car, I want to say, from 73 to 77, and Chevy, Buick, and Olds made them as well as Pontiac, I think.
Yeah, but they all had different names or something.
Yeah, they had that same relative shape, but like the front ends were different, the roof lines were different, that little things, the GM style. where it's all the same car, but it's not.
Okay, let's try like a 76 or something. Nah. I don't know. Any other guesses in the chat? Was there like a 78 Grand Prix? What does that look like? Oh, that might be closer.
Because that's a smaller style. That's like his cut. That's like a new guy's Cutlass. That
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
Cutlass
They might
was
have
79.
Well, they might have had them out the same year where they went to where you could still get the older, bigger body style for half the year kind of thing. Because car makers do that stuff.
Yeah. It's not a G body, it's an A body Grand Prix. Okay.
I like how this is where.
Oh wait. This
Yeah.
Like,
We weren't going off the rails, but we were already off the rails. So
yeah. Well, you can't really go off the rails if you were never on the rails to begin with.
true.
we were near the rails for like half a second, and we were right in the ditch, and we're on fire.
Okay. So oops. Oh, I almost clicked the wrong button. So, but I guess before we move on, I got a question for y'all. I want to know if you guys know the answer. This is why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors?
As a chick.
Oh God, it's dad joke time, isn't it?
Because if it had 4 doors, it'd be a chicken sedan.
Yeah, you need a drum kit to go.
Okay.
Okay, Max.
Sure, brought your drum kit.
Okay, now let's actually get back on track. So, I guess first on the agenda is we're supposed to tell our best ran out of gas story. If you've ever ran out of gas. So, I guess you, because you spoke up.
All right. Let's see here. Best ran out of gas story. Well, all right. So in the Cutlass, the 79 Cutlass, there was the first project on the channel. That thing, I had an aluminum fuel cell in the trunk. I did not have a gas gauge, however, and it drank E85 like crazy. So running out of gas was a normal occurrence in this car. So I was out way out in the middle of Mexico. Yeah, that's the one.
You were
Way
in
out in the middle
Mexico?
of Mexico, yeah. Well, I mean, pretty close to Mexico. It was somewhere where, the law wasn't, didn't care. And I had ran out of gas. And, it was normal at this point. So I go to make a phone call for someone to pick me up. The phone's dead. So I have no phone, So I had to get out. I walked. I don't even know how far. A guy actually picked me up. He was a sketchy character. Drove me into town. That was basically it. That's the most exciting thing I got. I was stranded, I don't even know how far away from town. No cell phone, nothing. Got picked up, hitchhiking. Brought back into town.
Huh.
You got running out of gas for it? More interesting than mine? You ever run out of gas?
Out of all the instances I might have possibly ever ran out of gas, I don't think any one of them I was far away from somewhere where I couldn't either push the car in to get gas or yeah. But I did buy a car from our older brother. It was a red what was that red one? A Grand Am?
Yeah.
A red Grand Am, right? So then I had a show to play an hour and a half away. So I get to the show. Everything was fine. We did the show, packed everything up. On the way back, the car stalls. And like I had to let it cool down, and then I had to start it and go for another like 5 miles, and then it like shut down again. No idea what the problem was, but I was so angry. It took I think it took 6 hours to actually get home from the gig, an hour and a half away.
Nice.
That sounds annoying.
Mater's Workshop, welcome.
It was totally at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Hello, Mater.
Too, so I didn't have anybody I could call to be like, hey, I need help here. It's just me.
Oh, hey, Mater, and welcome everybody. All right, well, 6%. You got an exciting run out of gas story?
I don't know if it's exciting, but I was about 2 miles from work, and I was about 1,000 feet from the gas station. I got caught behind an auto wreck, and I ran out of gas. So I had to walk to the gas station, buy a 2-gallon gas can, walk back to my car, then drive back to the gas station to get more gas to go to work.
Oh man,
It was interesting.
Yeah. So, did you ever? So I guess how many times have you guys run out of gas? Maybe I'm alone. I feel like I've run out of gas a lot.
I think that's the only time, actually. Personally.
In Cutlass, it was just a common occurrence because I didn't have a fuel gauge because I had that aluminum fuel cell in the back that just happened more often than I really wanted it to. I started to just keep a 2-gallon gas can in the bag, so when I did run out of gas, I at least had enough to get me to the gas station.
Well, yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I actually kind of have an epic story. Can I share mine?
Yeah.
It's your
Okay.
stream.
No. It is our stream. This is I'm all about capitalism and stuff, but this is a communist stream. We share this all.
Yeah, I was on. Quick shout out to Buck Does It. I was on his. He had a stream for the No Name Nationals earlier today, and he had me and a couple other guys on. They're trying to hit 500 subscribers. And watching him trying to say the name of your channel was entertaining. It was Junkyard. No, what the?
Oh, really? Wait, why was
Yeah.
he mentioning me?
Because I mentioned our stream because he called out he was mentioning he ran down about 5 or 6 channels that are heading for the 500 subscriber mark for No Name Nationals, and he pulled up my channel stuff and I said we're doing this live stream and he's Junkyard neck row yeah.
That was a conversation I had with Juan at one point. He's like, do people know what your name means or even how to pronounce it? And I was like, I don't know. Well, that is, yeah, if anybody hasn't subscribed to 6% yet, you should, because he's trying to make it to the No Name Nationals.
It's on the road to the No Name.
How many subscribers are you at so far, sir?
I think 409 right now.
Nice.
So close. We'll get her by the end of next month. She'll be there.
Nice.
Well, I hope so. I hope I'm at 1,000 by then. But well, like we said, with YouTube subscriber math, I'm already at 1,500. So
Yeah.
I gain 2, lose 1, gain 3, lose 2. It's that magical math. I go to bed with 500 subscribers. I wake up with 400. It's great.
Yeah. That's how it is for me too.
Running out of gas off the track. So forgot to fill it up.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some good things in chat too. Dylan said that his best running out of gas story was on a riding lawnmower. That's exciting, I guess.
Where he lives, though, with all that snow and all the other stuff, that could have been, like a death-inducing. So.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
If you ever tried to mow with snow.
Yeah. He might have tried to run with snow.
I tried once.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
It didn't start.
Nope.
It was a cold start video with no cold start.
Very cold morning.
It was a cold no start.
So I want to hear this story.
Well-
Got a gas story.
Okay, but first the rest of the comments, and then I'll tell it.
All right.
So Whitty says that he was coming back with his 68 Thunderbird. That's a cool car. On a 3,000-pound trailer being towed by a Chevy Tahoe. Yeah, I don't know about that. And it was December 23rd, 150 miles away, and ran out of gas pulling into a gas station. At least you were pulling into a gas station.
68 30. Didn't they have those were rotating seats in
In the 68?
Did they have it in 68?
I don't know. Whitty, you got to tell us. Did it have rotating seats? And then, yeah, and then Mater about running out of gas when coming off the track, headed back to the pits, remembering you need gas. At least you were headed into the pits to get gas, you know? I've run out of gas a lot, but I think the most epic time was I had this 77 Chevy Nova. That was my daily driver. And I was with my roommate at the time, and where we lived was a few blocks off of a highway, and we were driving on the highway and we were driving home, and I'm not exaggerating, I promise. I ran out of gas right as we were getting to the exit, and my friend was like, "Oh no, we're screwed." And I said, "No, I can make it." And I went all the way down the exit ramp. There was nobody coming, and so I ran the stop sign. This was long enough ago that I don't think I can get a ticket for that now. But and made it down one block, over another block, down 2 blocks, and then into our alley and parked behind our house with no gas. And that my friend could not believe it, my roommate, but we made it. And then I had to catch a ride to the gas station and get fuel to put in it. So
Because you believed you could.
maybe, or also it could have been that I had way too much experience running out of gas.
True.
Wasn't your first rodeo?
No, I've run out of gas so many times that it's not really funny. I don't really do it anymore because I'm a little more prepared nowadays. But back in the day,
You do the swivel, you slash where you pump the brakes so all the fuel goes up to the pickup.
yeah.
There's a certain art to it.
Well, it is. Yeah, running out of gas is really a talent. Really cool.
I guess. Oh, Woody says that the 68 did not have the rotating seats. At least his did not.
Yeah. I don't know what year they had those.
That does sound cool. Why don't they do that sort of thing in vehicles anymore? Just because safety stuff, or?
Probably.
Probably because they
That's what
thought
I
it
would
was too complicated even back then. They were off. Rotating seat. It was a good gimmick, but let's be real here. Now look at cars.
Like, did they also?
That would go with
If they made it
side
that
curtain
way
airbags.
today,
I don't think that
It would
very well.
fall apart.
Wait, what about side curtain airbags?
Tilting seat wouldn't work real well with a side curtain airbag.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, didn't they? I think was it GM? Some GM company made the station wagon with like a wraparound bench seat too. Wasn't that a thing?
Possibly.
That's the first I've heard of it, but that sounds awesome.
Reminds me of that old van I had with the back seat that you push a button, it's laid down, it was bed. Sweet.
Dylan says he's moving to Nova Scotia soon, and he's been looking for a first truck / daily driver / project truck. And he loves the 61 GMC trucks and pretty much every Ford from 1950 to 1975. So, what do you guys think? Should he go for the GMC or the Ford?
I mean, whatever you can find in decent enough shape is what I go for. I don't know if there's
Yeah,
really
it's
that
good.
much Pickens out for those. Are there? Not where we're from.
Yeah, I mean, availability is the first thing, but you've got a 1-year car and then a 25-year span, so you got a lot to pick from.
Indeed, and there's a lot of different vehicles in there.
You're
I
more
don't-
likely to find a Ford in better shape with that large of a year span. If you need something that's reliable, if you want to be a daily driver.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever owned any one of those. I've owned a 66 GMC and I've owned a 78 Ford, but nothing within those date ranges.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'd like to get. I want to do a truck, Uncle Jesse's truck from Dukes of Hazzard, that white kind of random mid '70s Ford. I'd like to do one of those with a big block or something stupid, but I haven't been able to get there yet.
So I always liked the 79 Highway. That was always my favorite truck.
Yeah.
Or a Bronco. Or a Bronco.
I've always wanted I guess they call it a bump side, which is a 68 to 72s. That's always been a favorite of mine, but they're too much money now.
Yeah, I've still got my 78 F250
I do
four-wheel
like
drive.
that truck.
What was that?
I do like that truck.
Yeah, it's mine's super beat up, but it's crazy how much they're worth nowadays. To me, it's just an old truck, but to other people, it's like I don't know.
Yeah. Stay put.
Okay, so then what about the oldest and newest vehicles you've ever worked on? 6%. How about you go?
The oldest would be my 63 that I've got in the driveway. I haven't done much with yet, and I guess the Rambler's a 65, but I'm just starting to get into that. But probably the 2015 would be the latest or the newest.
2015. What?
One of my mom's cars, one of her Ford leases that I had to do something to. Nothing specific. The latest car I work on a regular basis is my 06 TJ.
So that you've got the 63 Rambler. What year's the Chambler? I mean, what year's the Rambler part of the Chambler?
The Rambler body is a 65.
Okay.
And they are a different body style between the two of them. They're notably different. The 63 looks more like a Nova, like a Chevy 2. And the 65 looks more like a Ford Falcon.
Okay.
Next up.
And what about you, New Guys Garage?
The oldest is probably the Mustang 65.
Okay.
The newest, I changed the oil on my 2006 Daily. Does that count?
I mean, I guess.
I try not to touch new car. Wait. All right, his car's a 2006, a Pontiac Grand Prix. That's probably the newest one I messed with.
Okay. But did you actually do some work on it or just oil? Does oil maintenance, does that count?
No, that thing's broken down so many times. We've had to fix that thing lots of times. What all have we done to your reliable daily driving vehicle, aside from pulling the tires off of it?
The van I just got?
No,
The car.
the car. What have we done with that thing?
I have a list that big.
What we did was the transmission cooler lines.
Transmission cooler lines,
water pump,
the plugs to go into the lines,
sensors,
a bunch of sensors.
fan, and rewired fan.
Rewired the fan.
Just,
Lots of stuff.
yeah.
Well,
It's a very crappy car.
Yes,
so 65 and then 06 then, eh?
pretty much.
Oh, hey, welcome, Juan. Thank you for joining us.
Wow.
I had some photos that I was going to share, but I've lost them. But my oldest vehicle I've ever worked on was a 1928 Pierce Arrow, which is a really cool car. I did some auto work for a car collector for a while when I was like 19 or 20. And then if we're counting oil changes, the newest would be like a 2020. But if we're counting like replacing parts and stuff, I guess it'd probably be my F-150, which is a 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, because I stopped working. I stopped doing prototype stuff in 2003, 2004. So the latest vehicle I worked on then would have been an 0506.
Okay, so then coolest vehicle that you've worked on. You've probably worked on some pretty dang cool stuff there.
Yeah, I kind of get to cheat. I mean, I built the first 400 Ford GTs. Did some show car work, movie car stuff. Did a lot. I worked at McLaren Engines. I've worked at Roush. I worked at the Proving Grounds in Romeo for Ford. The GTs were neat in prototype stage, but the most fun was at McLaren because I went from doing oil changes at a dealership to working on show cars and stuff that was in magazines and in movies. Thanks, Max. And we had a line of Ford racing cars. The first one was the FR 500, which was a altered wheelbase Mustang they were trying to make it like a package you could buy with a new K member and different fenders and stuff out of carbon and make your car basically handle like a Corvette, compete with the Corvette. And then we did FR 200, which was a 300 horsepower Focus, which was insane. And that thing was as fast as a Vet on a road course. That was in Fast and Furious 2. If you'd blink and you'd miss it.
It was kind of in the background or something.
Yeah, it's in the one scene I know it's in is there's like a wide pan shot of one of the guys. I think it's Ludacris's shop, and it's in there. It's a goofy giant wing thing with the silver and it has stars and stripe flag flames on it and stuff. We didn't do that. APC did. They gave the cars to APC, and then APC did weird stuff to them.
Here I've got. Can I show those photos that you shared of the Mustangs?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. So you want to explain what these ones are here? And then I've got the other photos up too.
Yeah, the silver one was the show car. The white one was the mule, and the black one was a mule car that became sort of a show car. But they were 2000 Ford Mustangs, and basically the wheelbase was altered 5 inches farther forward. Liquid board 4.6 to 5 liter, made 385 at the wheels, naturally aspirated 6-speed independent rear. They were a hell of a lot of fun. A lot of it was carbon fiber. I got to learn how to work with carbon fiber when basically nobody knew what carbon fiber was. The cars were a ton of fun to build. They were a ton of fun to mess with, and it was neat. The way that they altered the wheelbase, it gave it a 49-51 weight distribution, so the car was handled fantastic.
Oh, I'm sure. These things look awesome.
They were a lot of fun, and we did all that in a 2-bay shop at McLaren. McLaren at that time, McLaren was still pretty small, and that's McLaren Engines. At that point, there was no affiliation with McLaren in Europe. They split, and I think in the 80s. McLaren did a lot of stuff with ASC when they did like the Mustang convertibles, the ASC McLarens. They did a lot of stuff with the GNXs and stuff like that. They partnered with ASC and made a lot of the cars that the big companies wouldn't build because they don't like to hand build cars. That's how I ended up with that's why Celine did about 75%. Celine SFE built about 75% of the Ford GTs, and the last stuff was finished at Wixom because the union guys didn't want to hand assemble a car. Maxed out.
We've got 6% is a true Ford legend in our presence. In the chat.
This was just I did stuff for work. This wasn't. There were people did a lot cooler stuff than I ever did.
I don't know, man. This is pretty cool. This is cooler than I've ever done.
I had a lot of fun. I mean, that was my first. Other than doing oil changes and going to mechanic college, that was. I mean, I had a crash course in doing custom stuff. I went from doing nothing to doing fabricating parts and making roll cages and just hand assembling 3-piece, couple $1,000 wheels. The best part was picking rocks out of Hoosier drag slicks because they were show car tires. So I had to pick all the little rocks out of them. I spent 3 days sanding a brake caliper because we had to repaint it and it had rock chips. So I literally bondoed a caliper, sanded it down, bondoed, sanded, bondoed. Yeah.
The caliper.
It's it sounds more fun than it actually is when you do the actual work. It's what you do when you're doing custom stuff and people with unlimited paychecks are paying for the things you're doing.
Well, yeah, sure. I don't know too many people who can claim. Jesus Christ, even the fucking calipers got Bondo on.
It was skim coated. It was skim coated, but it had to look pretty.
It's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Should I tell them?
Yeah. Next month when I'm going to have my 17th surgery on March 2nd, and I'm going to compile all that stuff and find a bunch of the old magazine covers and stuff and try to put that together in a short little video.
Oh, that'd be cool. You should definitely do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a lot of free time.
All right, Sir Dan. I'm assuming your coolest car is the Iron Horse.
Yeah, I mean that, the Cutlass, and that 65 Galaxy we used to have. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Oh man,
the land yacht. First car I ever learned how to drive. 65 Galaxy.
The tree on the tree.
3 on the tree.
That's pretty cool.
289.
You want to? I've got your photos here of your cars. Do you want to explain them?
Sure. There it is. The Iron Horse. That is the most current iteration of the Iron Horse. Basically, it was a father-son project. Dad had gotten it when I was young, because wanted a hot rod.
Because I wouldn't stop complaining about him buying the Galaxy.
Yeah. Because the Galaxy came first, because we were going to get a hot rod. And he basically...
the whole thing is, we had a pontoon that we all went out on. And we got to the point where not everybody could go out on the pontoon at all the time, and it wasn't just fun anymore. So they decided to sell it. And Dad's master plan was to get a hot rod. And then I'm like, yeah, hot rods are cool, right?
Cool.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And then he shows up with the Galaxy, and I'm like, what is this? Yeah. Like, this smells like old people. Like, what's this?
It's most certainly a
So then,
car.
after complaining enough, my mom said if he quit smoking, that he could buy the Mustang.
Yeah.
So he quit smoking to get the Mustang.
Yeah, that's when we put those new wheels on it. They were, I don't know, American Racing rims or something like that. Basically, the first things we did to it was we put those wheels on it and we put glass packs on it because it was open header at the time when we bought it. Drove it from, this town all the way over open header because originally it was a drag car, believe it or not. Or so the story goes anyway. Kid was drag racing it all the time. He pulled the good motor out and put the 289 back in it and then sold it because he was college or something.
Oh, we've got Cajun Coin Hunter in chat. Hey, Cajun, welcome.
Stuff Cajun.
Okay, then you've got the giant tires on the back in this photo. Did it come with that deal here, the sunroof?
It did. It came with a sunroof. I thought that was the only one in existence, but I have since doing YouTube. Second 66, that's his YouTube channel. He's got a 65 Mustang, same sunroof. Could not believe it. I don't know who is doing this option to put the sunroofs in, but I guess somewhere down the line it became a fad because
Must be like an aftermarket or dealership thing.
I think it's a dealership thing, yeah, because I've seen there's a total of 3 Mustangs so far that I know of that have the exact same sunroof.
Yeah, there were companies in California that did it, and they're like ASC did sunroofs. That was one of the things that ASC did when they're in Michigan. But there were a couple companies in California that were doing them right at the dealers.
Yeah, those massive steel. They're literally this wide steamrollers.
Really?
They're over a foot wide. Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff to rotate.
Yeah, big Mickey Thompson Indy profile and 50s.
Yeah. I really like that style of wheel too. That's kind of what I want to do on my Mustang. Those that style, whatever that's called.
Coke bottle Kragers, yeah, Krager SS.
Krager, okay. Okay, so then this is more recent then, right? Because you've got your different, taller, thinner tires, right?
Yes, that is the current iteration. It's got 15 by 6s up front, the Kragers, and 14 by 6s in the back, just steel stamp wheels. But the spring now, we're going to change it up again because I finally found my front runners, my 15 by 4.5 Kragers going on the front. So then the front tires there, the 15 by 7s, are going to be shifted to the back. So I won't have the black wheels in the back anymore. I'll have Kragers both sides. And we're going to try this out for a little while and see how this does.
Ooh.
Full dirt track tire, $25 a tire. Because the guys, after they're done racing them, they're useless to them anymore. So now I can get these things for $25 a tire. Unlimited supply.
$25. So are they normally slicks or they cut them down?
They're dirt. They're dirt track tires.
Oh, I see.
They're made for the dirt, so they're super soft.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They wear like crazy. I mean, they wear down super quick on the street. But at $25 a pop, I mean, how do you beat that, right?
I don't know how you could.
So you've decided you're not going to turn anymore. Is that what you've gone with the 15 by 4s? You're just not going to turn anymore.
Well, I already don't have front sway bar and stuff in it. What's the difference? I'll still turn just fine. It'll just be, a lot more fun when I do it.
Oh, I think I found pictures of that Pierce Arrow. Do you guys know what a Pierce Arrow is? Have you ever seen that?
The fire truck, right? Or no?
I think they did make fire trucks, but they also made like super fancy cars. I'm pretty sure a lot of presidents rode in Pierce Arrows. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, and that's me without a beard.
Oh, geez, what do we got here? Ah, yes. Yeah.
This was before the beard model days. Okay.
Yeah. And let me see. Oh yeah, and that's the updraft carburetor. That was I had to rebuild that. It was having issues. But yeah, had a wood steering wheel, like wooden dash. It was a very interesting car.
Nice luxury.
Was that
Yeah.
one of the ones where you'd buy the old in that time frame? You'd buy the chassis and someone would hand make you the body because you're rich enough to have whatever you wanted, kind of thing, or
Maybe. I know that like Rolls Royce used to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
a lot of them did that. I wasn't sure if that was in at that scale or not.
And you know it's good too, because that's when presidents actually drove themselves around. So that's what they chose to drive themselves around in.
Yeah.
Yeah, presidents aren't allowed to drive themselves anymore.
No, they can only
Is that
drive
an
on
8 or
their
a
property.
6?
It's a 6. Or wait, yeah, it's a 6. There was this car right here in the background, this other blue car, that's a Stutz. That was I'd never worked on that one, but that was another one that this guy owned, and it was a 20s Stutz, and that had a straight 8. But yeah. So, what is the deal with presidents not driving? Is it like a security thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely.
Secret Service takes them everywhere. Like I said, they like right now Joe Biden can get in a car and drive around the White House parking lot or around the front yard of the White House, but that's about it. Like he can't go any further than that.
Yeah.
What about previous presidents who are still alive, like George Bush, Obama? They can't drive still because they probably still have
They
Secret
still have-
Service.
yeah,
Unless they choose to decline it, because they have the option to choose to decline it when they leave.
If they decline it, can they then drive?
I don't
yes.
know. Can they? Yeah. I guess I don't know how many presidents that have declined it.
I don't think any that are still living have.
Did Donald Trump decline it?
No. Not that I know of, anyway.
Seems like a guy who would have like a better security than the Secret Service.
Yeah, I when in doubt, he's got a pretty hardcore security detail.
All right.
So
What's the next topic?
wait.
Wait,
So
well,
I'm the guitar guy.
He's
Yeah.
a good time.
So I'm not a car guy. So I'll tell you about the oldest guitar I've ever played. It's a 1957 Telecaster.
ooh, that's
And
cool.
I had to replace the nut on the top fretboard. So I replaced it, and then I got to like strum around on it. And they do not make things like they used to. Like there is no other guitar I've ever played. Well, maybe, but it's close. The coolest guitar I've ever played, I had to play Zakk Wylde's actual 1959 Les Paul during a when they were sound checking. Because when I was in a band, I was played down in the cities a lot. So when you get into these places, like you get free backstage like admission. Like I could go in there when we're not playing and just go hang out in the green room with all the people that come in. So I hung out with Zakk Wylde for a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you go play it?" So I went out and I played it. That was the coolest guitar I've probably ever played.
He's a fairly tall guy, isn't he?
He's like this tall on me,
How tall are
Well,
you?
that's great, but how tall are you?
about 5'9.5".
Okay.
Yeah.
He
The
just
half
seemed big
man.
whenever I saw him on stage compared to most of the other guys. Like Rob Zombie's like 5'2".
Really?
A lot of
He's
these
that
are
short?
really
He's super dinky.
Huh.
A lot of the people you would think would be huge aren't. Like you wouldn't really think David Gilmour from Pink Floyd was like tall or anything, but he's like 6'4". He's a tall gentleman.
Huh. Well, that's kind of, to be honest, Tom, I thought you were like 6'4". I don't know why.
No, I'm really short.
Yeah. Not
5'9",
very tall.
5'9" is average.
I'm short and round, but I can't complain.
About pretty much the same height as you. I think.
I think I'm a little taller, but it's like negligible.
Whitty says, if being president means not being allowed to drive, then forget it, unless I just do burnouts on the White House lawn.
You could probably have a spot paved on the White House lawn specifically to ruin tires.
There
That
you
would
go.
be pretty cool.
Well, yeah, if you're president, you should be able to do it. Theodore Roosevelt had a goddamn boxing ring in the White House.
That is true.
Yeah, but he was the most badass president we've ever had.
Well, it was.
Him and maybe Andrew
Andrew
Jackson,
Jackson.
but
Yeah.
I think Teddy could have probably took Andrew. Andrew was a little bit of an alkie.
Also true. So, what kind of music did your band play?
I'd just say like rock, like kind of old school rock. It's kind of an amalgamation of like a lot of different stuff. I
Mostly-
will at some point be, because I have CDs and music clips and stuff. So at some point I will be loading up some of that stuff on my YouTube channel.
Mostly
Yeah.
covers or original stuff?
Well, the band I was in, Soulshine, which I probably wrote the most stuff for, was an all original band. I think at the end we did like a couple covers, but that was just mainly to fill in some time. And then one of the Battle of the Bands as I was in, we had to do a cover of some sort. So we specifically learned 2 covers for that. But other than that, we didn't really play many covers. And then because I've kind of been in 2 different kinds of bands. Like I've been in bands where we only did original music, and I've been in cover bands. And then I've been in bands where we kind of did all of it. So
Interesting. All right. Well, our next topic is states that we've lived in.
That's what.
it's a short subject for us.
Yeah, it is a pretty short- yeah.
Well, why don't you start then?
Let's see. Was Minnesota? All right, we're done.
Both of you? Both just Minnesota?
Actually, Brainerd, Minnesota for me. Brainerd and Crosby for you, right? Yeah, total. But we lived in about this much of the entire country. Just right there.
Okay, what about states you've traveled to?
I've pretty much been to all the surrounding states. I've been to Michigan. I've been to Ohio, all the Dakotas. I've been to Tennessee. That's pretty much about it.
How far into the state do you have to be in order for it to count? Can you still see Minnesota from that state? Does that still count?
Oh, totally. If you cross
Sure.
the border, it counts.
I've
If
been to North Dakota and Wisconsin.
I've been to Canada twice.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's another country.
I've seen Canada from my protected area of the United States.
Well, at one time it was an accident because we were camping in the there's like extreme camping up north right on the border. I forget what it is exactly called, but there's a point where the boundary waters. Yeah.
Boundary waters.
There's a point where you have to canoe, and you can't follow the whole thing. You have to get out at a certain point and walk like 3 miles across land in order to avoid going into Canada. And then we got there, and there's like guards and stuff there, and the dude was just like, you're just going around, right? You're not. And we're like, yeah, we're just gonna follow the lake. So you don't have to get out, just go follow the lake.
Just there was pint of maple syrup. Oh, you're just going around there, don't you know? You'll just go on through there. No mind us.
Andrew, you guys don't have to get out of the water for that. That's fine. So that's the second time I went to Canada. The first time it was actually planned. It was a hunting trip. We
Oh,
were
nice.
Bear hunting.
bear hunting in Canada.
Did you catch a bear in Canada?
Did I get a bear in Canada? No.
Did any of you go there?
Yes, we got a bear. It was like 490 some pounds.
Jeez Louise.
Took all
Wow.
three of us to drag him back to camp so we could
It was mostly just you.
render him down. Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, you tried to work a bear back to camp
True.
with two
But
twigs. next
the
to
other
them.
guys were like, one was 120 pounds and the other was like 96, soaking wet.
That's what I imagined. There's a reason they invited you. Along.
Probably.
If we get something, we're gonna need somebody who carries it. So, oh, you want to come hunting with us?
You ever drag a bear 6 miles before? No, not until now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you? 6%.
Michigan, Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio for about 4 minutes.
You lived in Ohio for 4 minutes.
2 weeks. It was a travel job, but I was actually living in the state for more than a night. It wasn't like I was in a, there. I was doing a travel job repairing vehicles on a gig, and it was in Bucyrus, Ohio. There's nothing there.
Oh, we've got
Born here, lived in Florida when I was a kid.
Night.
That's a
Dylan
good
is
one,
signing
Dylan.
off. So have a good
Hi,
night,
Bagel.
Dylan.
A good one.
Huh. So, out of all the places you've lived, even though your experience in Ohio was short, which was your favorite to live in?
Probably the Carolinas were the most interesting. I was only there for a couple months. When everything in 0304, when the auto industry kind of went in the dumper, I lost pretty much everything, and I ended up moving down to my dad's place in North Carolina for a while to try to see what I could find down there. And it was beautiful country. Just bad time in my life, but no, I like here. I just can't take the cold anymore. It's pretty down there. It's like, sheer mountain, 2 lanes, sheer mountain. So
That sounds
it
Ever
takes a while to
since,
get used to that.
Ever since I had knee surgery, the winters are getting terrible.
yeah.
Well, I
feel
got from
changing
all
weather.
the complications of the transplants, I have every form of neuropathy and every other thing. So everything I own, I can tell what the weather's going to be like, the morning before it happens. So
I can feel everything in my knee, so I cannot even comprehend what you have to go through when the weather changes. That sucks, man.
it's interesting. I just try to remember that there are people that have a lot worse than I do. So I just try to stay positive because hell, I'm still on borrowed time and I won't appreciate it. So
Yeah.
So really, if you think about it, the Chambler is like a physical manifestation of your current being.
yeah, it's two things that don't go together, but somehow they are. Yes.
Yeah, and you're making it work.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
to the
Yeah. Not
I
not
can't
to-
weld me back together though. So
That's fair. Not to derail, but what's the status of the Chambler at this point in time?
oh, if you want, I sent some pictures into that chat if you want to throw those up there.
Yeah, I'll bring them up.
You know,
It's in more pieces than it was before.
we've had a
More
lot of
than
talk
it was.
about derailment and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh,
We just
and Ohio.
We just be glad we don't live in
Yeah.
Ohio right now.
Yeah.
That
I'm
is
probably
scary
close
stuff.
enough and I'll get some funny stuff from it since I'm north of them, but we'll see what happens.
That is scary. That is a
Yeah,
scary
they handled
situation.
that really poorly to say the least.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's like, didn't they say it was going to be safer to burn off the chemicals and that's why they did it? But now people
Yeah,
are
and
going
then-
back home when they
Then
should.
they release it. There's 3 or 4 more chemicals than they thought there were, and there's no such thing as a controlled burn. It's gonna get bad. And nobody knew about it for like a week. So it's funny business. But my friend Ryan came over and helped me weld in some cross braces. So I've got 3 cross braces in, so I can finally start to take that gray tubing that's on the floor. I'm gonna finally be able to cut that out and square the body to the chassis.
You mean this gray tubing here with the writing on it?
Yeah. It's in 4 spots on the car. That's what he had to support the body around that galvanized tin that he put in the car. And yeah, it's just a bad idea. Every time I look at it, I just go, ugh.
Yeah, that seems like something I would do. So it's probably not safe.
No. And those cross braces are temporary. They're just going to allow me to cut the other stuff that he had in there free, slide the body around, lift it up a little bit because it's a little too low on the back, and then I can shim it and start putting in the sheet metal in the actual braces and stuff.
This has turned into quite the project. Did you expect it to be this much work when you got it?
Not this much. Every time I touch it, I find something else that I have to fix. I'm trying to leave I think we talked, I'm not going to fix cosmetic things, but everything I'm finding is not cosmetic. So,
Yeah.
When you open the door to your garage and look out, do you just go, I am never going to financially recover from this? Just slowly close the door.
No, not yet. No, I mean, by and large, with having the 2-door Cherokee that I parted out, I've got most of the components that, look, if I had to replace all the electrical, the engine, that stuff would kill me. But it's bad enough. Like, I had a heart attack when I bought the first bottle of welding gas. That was like, good God, it was like a car payment.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to piecemeal it through. That's partly why I sell the parts from the other stuff I pieced out, because I got to fund it somehow.
Now, I mean, how do you sell those parts? You sell them just like on eBay or locally, or
eBay and Marketplace. It's harder with some of the stuff. I've got a lot of Comanche parts, but they're all big, and shipping is so bad right now. If I sold a bench seat for $200, it would cost $400 to ship it, and nobody's going to do that. So I've got to try to sell it locally.
oh geez.
I wouldn't mention shipping around this one today.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I ordered a bunch of stuff off Amazon, a new guitar neck and some other things to fix up the guitar that I got for my Christmas present. And so I have a pre-loaded card. So I loaded the money onto it, and then I went to Amazon and I bought the stuff.
Mhm.
Everything was fine. There was way more than enough money on the card. And then Amazon declined my transaction for some reason. And then the card company is holding all the money in a pending state, and they will not give it back to me.
That's
Nice.
So I'm really irritated right now.
Technology is just a fun thing to have.
Those people are just glad I don't live anywhere near them. I'd be in their office right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could call them up maybe.
Well, I made several phone calls. I'm pretty sure everybody at Amazon and this card company hates me, but
Well, that guy was a dick.
one way or another, I'm getting my money back.
Yeah, Woody, I stopped selling stuff on eBay because between the fees and the shipping costs, I was lucky to break even or lose money on certain items. And I never knew until I got to the post office what anything was going to cost to ship.
I don't think I've ever tried to sell. No, I know I haven't tried to sell car parts on eBay. I've sold computer parts and stuff, but haven't done that for years.
Yeah,
So-
there's a big market for Comanche stuff because they're fair. They only made about 250,000 of them, and they're fairly popular.
Mhm.
It's shipping's just a killer. And Michigan is not a real big hub for it. If I was in California, I would have sold this stuff the minute I took it off the car because they're super popular out there. I just can't ship them out there.
I think I got a few gauges and stuff on eBay for sale. Just, I don't know if anyone was interested or if they're just sitting there in limbo now with me not paying any attention to it anymore. Or,
I mean, I've got 4 cars worth of parts. I parted out 3 cars last year, and some stuff sold instantly. I parted out. It's a really early video, and it's bad. I mean, it's scary bad. But I took apart a white YJ that's actually the header on my page banner. I parted that thing out, and I sold bare bones that thing. I sold everything off that car.
Really?
Huh. I did very nice off it. It paid for a lot of other stuff that I had been doing. So,
Do you find these like old cars that need too much work or whatever, and then part them out, or?
well, I had hoped to drive that one through the winter. I got it for a good price. The guy was moving out of town, but there were too many things. It needed a frame repair, it needed body repair, and the engine, and it had run 5 years. It was too much stuff I never would have gotten the money that I put into it back out of it in any way, shape, or form. So it was easier to just say, I'm going to sell it all. Take it apart and sell it. It wasn't what I wanted to do. I like the Comanche. I parted out on video early in the channel. I wanted to flip it and it was a four-wheel drive 550 Comanche. Lay it down, you big goof. But it was so far gone. Down. This is the idiot who hurt himself earlier. That's why I'm keeping an eye on him.
Oh, how did he cut his ear, by the way?
Yeah, I think he took his toenail and got his ear. And I came back from getting ready for the live stream and come in here, and it looks like a crime scene on my couch. So I had to clean everything up before we started. My neighbor's a vet tech, so she gave me some blood stop stuff, and thankfully he's not bleeding, but he's not happy. This is not a happy face. It's a very large, not happy face.
very large, not happy face.
He's 45 inches tall and about 4.5 feet long. He's a big boy.
Definitely a big dog.
Yeah, he's a giant baby, but you're fine.
All right. What YouTube channel inspired you to start making videos?
Mike, should I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Excuse me. Actually, it was I think 2 really. It was Junkyard Diggs and Dylan McCool. And they were fairly. I found one. I found the other. I found Thunderhead 289. I found Vice Grip Garage. I found Pole Barn Garage through watching those guys. They all kind of that hub of people. But I liked what they were doing, and I thought, I think I can at least do something like this. I can't do what they do, and I don't want to. But I like the style that they have. It's conversational. It's easy going. There's an information involved, but they're still trying to show their personalities and the goofy stuff that happens, which is what I want to do.
Yeah, those are definitely. I like those channels too.
yeah.
Yeah, I Vice Grip Garage is definitely on my list. He's kind of cool. I hate to say it, but I feel like he's kind of sold out a little bit. But
I
otherwise,
don't blame him for it. I really don't. I mean, he's got his hands on everything. He's making a car polish. He's got something with O'Reilly. He's got something with Holly. He's got the motor trend thing.
Motor trend
You
thing.
can't blame him. He's got a wife and 3 kids. I mean, make it while you can, because who knows how long it's going to last. But he's definitely he's definitely pushed. I think he's gone, but he's got. I mean, he puts a video out and it gets 1 million views inside a week. I mean, that's huge. That is enormous for a car thing.
He makes good cash away. That's for damn sure.
for sure. for sure. I think
Uh,
before,
the real thing is he's elevated beyond being a YouTuber. Like that's why it kind of feels that way. It's because
Yeah.
he's no longer on our level. Now he's like, now he's famous, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he honestly hit a point where he almost has to some extent, because he's that big. If he doesn't make money off of it, then he's almost wasting his talent and his stuff. He's kind of hit the point where you almost have to.
YouTube money though too.
Oh yeah, he's making a lot of
He's
money.
probably making like he's making the Patreon money. That's where it's at.
Patreon money.
I think he's got memberships and he sells all that merchandise. And like I said, he came out with like patina juice, or I think he calls it shine juice or something.
yeah.
Yeah, Shine Juice. Yeah.
We got,
You got Motor Trend. I don't know what Motor Trend's paying him.
yeah, who
I've
knows?
watched Dinner Tools quite a bit, Mater.
Den of Tools, that's a good channel too.
Yeah, Dinner Tools led me to Tony the Technician, led me to somebody else. Then I found JD Tico. Then I found CB the Tool Addict and Power Stroke. It's just, it's a wormhole.
Yeah, and with the tool channels, I like Resto Rob too. He's smaller, but he does some like vintage tool restorations and stuff, which I like vintage tools. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I found Stapleton 42, which is part of what inspired me into that new series that I'm starting Tuesday. So and I got to meet him when I'm with Finnegan. So sorry.
That's when the first one is releasing, is Tuesday?
Tuesday, yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I got to meet them when I met Jacob Ross Davis from Sally's Speed Shop and Finnegan. I was able to meet them and kind of thank them for helping me think about doing this thing with the shop tours. That was good. PRI was great for me. PRI opened a lot of doors. I don't think the shop tour thing would have even started without going to PRI. So
that's cool. Jesse Duke, welcome.
Yes, welcome, Jesse.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get to meet him when I go to PRI this next year, because he's in Indy and it's in Indy. Indy's the farthest west I've ever been as well.
Nice. It's funny. Indy is the furthest west you've ever been. Indy is the furthest east I've ever been.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and I'll be going to Missouri, so that'll be a new experience. So.
When are you going to Missouri?
Assuming I make the 500, that's where the Notre Dame Nationals is. I think it's Sexton, or how do you pronounce it?
Sexton, Missouri.
All I know is it's about a 10-hour drive. So
exciting. Are you going to try and make it in the Chambler?
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, I've got a. There's a Jeep event in Ohio in August, so that'll be a good test run for it, because if it'll make it there, it should make it the rest. I mean, in theory, assuming everything works fine and I hook all the regular stuff back up to it, it's just going to be a Cherokee with a different body on it, so it should run and drive just fine, assuming there's no major problems with the mechanical stuff.
You are brave. So I am tailoring my car there. There's no way I'm driving a Mustang that way. Only because gas mileage. They would just absolutely destroy my wallet trying to drive anything like that.
Yeah, especially with that 3-speed transmission, no overdrive.
Three-speed transmission.
Yeah, well,
gear,
that's the beauty of the overdrive and fuel injected straight six. I'll get about 20 miles a gallon. So.
Shop Cat.
The inside's going to be a Cherokee, effectively. I'm gonna blank the some of the steering and some of the other stuff and the gauges and stuff into the old dash from the Cherokee.
Shopcat Industries has joined us. Welcome.
So what got you started, Junkyard, in this YouTube journey here?
I think Vice Grip Garage. I think actually before that though was OG Roadkill. The first episode ever of Roadkill. I don't think it was even called Roadkill at that point, where they like threw a dart at a map, and then they bought this like burnt out Buick in Arizona or whatever and fixed it in the guy's yard and then drove it home. I
Yeah.
was like, that's awesome. I want to do that. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
done
think
that
that
yet,
inspired-
but
I think that inspired everybody, probably even Vice-Grip, to go ahead and do it, because I know he was doing it as a business before, but I think that probably was one of the things that pushed him to say, why not film it?
yeah.
And I was glad when I met Finnegan for all of 5 seconds at the PRI that he was just a nice, normal guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, roadkill is definitely, one of the big reasons why I started. Well, planted the seed anyway is a big reason, because I
Yeah.
looked, everybody looked at roadkill and was like, that's sweet, love to be able to do that, make money.
So what about you? Like, so Roadkill is an influence, but what else?
Uncle Tony's Garage, which, either of you two know Uncle Tony's Garage?
Yes, that guy is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watch it here and there. I don't. He puts out so much content. I can't follow him. Like, literally, it seems like he's got 2 videos out a day. I catch him whenever something like that.
right. Yeah, no, he was the one who really, it's like, okay, well, you know what? I mean, and I'm pretty sure he's like the one who really got everybody's, garage title in their YouTube name, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it started with him and then Vice-Grip, right? Everybody's garage there, including me. Like, 2 guys' garage. Well, originally it was Dan's garage then. But that's what got me started. I did a few videos, then I kind of fell off. And then the No Name Natural thing happened. I'm like, well, I'll try to make that. Didn't make that, so then I fell off again. And 3rd time's the charm, and now here we are.
And you're gonna make it this time.
I'll make it this time.
Well, you're already kind of made it at this point, so at least you're well on the way.
I mean, I meet the qualifications this time around.
Well, have you hit 17,000 subscribers yet? Because it looked last time I checked, we were pretty close.
Not yet. I'm like 40 something away, I think. What?
Oh, Jesse Duke.
What did Jesse say?
But hey, Tom, I did a startup video on my garden tractor.
Nice.
I'll check it out, Jesse.
Did you actually get it to start, unlike Tom?
Probably got a little bit more reliable equipment than I do.
We've also got Woody says that Roadkill, along with his best friend, is what started it for him.
And there was something that Shopcat, yeah,
Yeah, and Shopcat said hang out with Scott at Cold War Motors. I feel like I've heard about Cold War Motors, but I haven't
the name
seen
sounds
any of
familiar, but I'm not. I think it's one of those Motor Trend channels, but I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
Just figured if he could do it, so could I. That's awesome.
Ooh, Jesse says it surprises him. The battery is usually dead, so I think he got it started, unlike me.
Sounds like he achieved what you have failed to do.
I got something started.
You didn't even try, though. Like,
What am I gonna do?
you put the effort into unburying the thing. You could have at least put a battery charger
I
on.
don't have a battery
You could
charger.
have jumper cabled
What am I
it.
gonna do? Rub a lemon together? Try to jump it with that?
Like, hook it up to a potato.
No, potato. You can use a potato. Come on now.
Yeah.
Now
Legitimate
that would
little
be a
shit,
cold
baby.
start video.
Yeah.
How many potatoes does it take
Yeah.
to jump start a car?
How many? Okay,
Yeah.
how many do you think it would actually take?
Well, being the produce manager I am, I would
Well,
say
he's got
it'd
inside
take-
knowledge, so
it would take at least a pallet of potatoes.
How much charge does each individual potato potentially hold?
Well,
That would be the
it
question.
depends on the size. Different size.
Well, you could get an average.
What
size.
species potato too?
Oh, this.
Are we
the
talking
species?
russets? We're talking yellow, red potatoes. What yams? What do we got?
I eat mostly fingerlings. Does that count? I need like 40 million fingerlings to make a, like.
It would take a few of those to get it going.
Okay,
I
okay,
think a pallet of russet potatoes. I think it'd happen.
okay. So with your vast produce knowledge, are the russet then? Is that the way to go, or is it
I
like
would say
Yukon
that's the way
Gold?
to go.
Okay, russet.
As
The
it
russets
has
are-
the
when you
potential
guys
to
bring me
hold electricity.
Well, the russets are cheap enough to actually, not kill you if you attempt to buy a pallet of them, right?
Okay, so we've got a new challenge for the No Name Nationals. When you get the U-Haul, you need to bring a pallet of potatoes in the back, and we'll see if we can make a battery charger out of it while we're at No Name Nationals.
You have
He's
you
thinking
have
about
to
it. That's why
start
he's
the
rubbing his face.
U-Haul up the potato powered. and then,
Why don't you
and
just
then-
follow the story work? It'll be fine.
and then the pallet of potatoes in the back would be ballast for the wheelie.
Now,
Yes.
wait.
Yes.
Would we need a battery? Like all these things
No,
have
we-
some sort of electrical
Take
charge.
take
right?
out the battery.
What if
put
we
only
take enough?
potato.
What if we take enough potatoes,
Yes.
smash them together in the form of a battery, and then hook the car up to that?
This is what we're talking about. Where have you been? This is the conversation.
I thought we were just gonna start it with one, but now the whole potato battery.
Well, all you need, once you get it started, it's running off the alternator. You can take the battery out of the car once it's running.
Well, yeah, but typically it's not already made out of potatoes.
Well, you won't be able to compact the
How?
potatoes.
Like we have a whole
like
pallet of
battery.
potatoes.
Yeah.
We should build a whole potato working engine.
What? I don't.
Now you're just being ludicrous.
Yeah,
you're going too
You
far.
crossed the line now.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
You're talking about
That's
real.
fun.
okay.
with enough potatoes and enough zinc and copper plates, I think you could actually jump a car with potatoes.
How many though?
I
That would blow up on YouTube right there.
It would.
No.
Although you say a pallet of russet potatoes, I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest. I think it's going to take at least twice that much.
It might. It might. Well, it depends on what we're trying to start too.
Witty.
We're not trying to start a high compression motor, right?
I can't afford
No,
to pay
we're trying to start a Prius, something simple.
Can't afford it.
Some little
Okay.
3-cylinder, like we'll try to start a Geo Storm or something with 3 cylinders that basically is just above a golf cart.
I mean, we could make
You
it
can
super
put the
simple
Geo
and just
Storm-
Well,
you can
let's,
put
we,
in the
we
back
should
of the U-Haul with
downscale,
potatoes.
right? Start a lawnmower first, or start, something small engine, and then work our way up to a whole car.
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
No,
Is you could start your lawnmower.
No, it's
Finally,
simple.
yeah.
You take a pallet of potatoes and you get a Geo Storm and you put them both in the U-Haul. You bring them down to No Name Nationals and we do it there because they'll both fit in there.
Wait,
That is
Simple.
true.
Well, I don't.
Wait.
Is the car and the potatoes going to fit in the back of this thing? Or the car's going to be on a
That
trailer?
car is incredibly small. Yes, they will.
hold on a second.
Fair enough.
What RPM does a lawnmower spin at?
A lot.
No, probably 3,000, but I'd have to look. Actually, Maynard probably know if he's still in chat. That's a Maynard question.
It is definitely a major question.
Why does the RPMs matter?
What if you took the lawnmower engine, right? And then you hooked its output shaft to a turbo, spinning the turbo with the lawnmower engine, make you a supercharger, and then feeding that into the motor.
Sure.
I don't-
Yeah, this sounds like kind of a newer version of the backpack blower turbo thing that's been tried before.
Well, the leaf
No.
blowers, they did leaf blowers, supercharged with leaf blowers, and that worked.
Yeah.
The supercharger just needs something to spin it. Nobody said it had to be the same motor that spinning it. What if you had just a small engine spinning it in
technically,
the back of
you
the
made
tube?
You've made
Oh,
a
yeah.
hybrid though too, because it's not
got
running
an
on
engine
gas.
up there.
You've made a hybrid.
We got an engine over there. Why don't we build that engine and hook it up to this?
I don't have an
supercharger?
engine over there anymore. Now that's in the back. Remember?
That's all over there now, in the back of your thingy.
Yeah, the Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Well, hook the Cleveland up to the supercharger.
Yeah.
we are going to possibly get the worst gas mileage in recorded history. Two
No.
giant-
I don't know how you rate potato per mile though. That's kind of. Mine does 10 potatoes a mile. That's great. I don't know how that works.
Oh, Witty says we should try it on my Mustang. I don't know about that. There's no room in the Stang for potatoes.
You got a trunk? What are you talking about?
Well, I
Not
guess I do.
enough potatoes. Although you could put a trailer hitch on it.
I could. I do have a trailer that would probably hold about 2 pallets worth of potatoes. So
See? It's all coming together.
Now, do we have to wire all these potatoes together?
Yeah.
How does this work?
Hey, Junkyard, can you
Yeah,
throw up
we'll
some
have
of
to
the
wire them all.
shotgun stuff? He explained
Usually
Cold War
wire
motor.
them or in a series.
let me see. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, Cold War Motors is a recluse in Alberta. He was one of the first Willet runs. He has a yard full of old cars and made a beauty 1960 Fury out of 2 Furies and a 4-door Polara. And apparently, he beats body parts out of sheet metal with a ball peen hammer on an old log, and he's colorblind. This guy sounds absolutely epic. He sounds like that hillbilly guy that lives up in the mountains where, he's like, yeah, I've got that Camaro over there. Sure, you can drive it as soon as I fix it.
No.
What were we talking about?
Potatoes?
Potatoes. Well, but we were also talking about Cold War motors.
Oh.
But yeah. And also Witty says that I should get a roof rack for the Mustang. But it's a convertible, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, they make roof racks for my Jeep. It's a convertible. So
Yeah, but you have kind of like bars and stuff, don't you? Like a roll cage almost?
well, a lot of the
Yeah,
but the roof racks, a lot of them will actually tip back, and you can put the top down and put the roof rack back on.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
kinda
but is he saying that because he wants you to put a pallet of potatoes on the roof rack? 'Cause I don't
Probably.
think that'll work.
I think that's
that
what he
whole
meant.
thing's gonna crush you as soon as it
Roof rack, just put a roll bar in it. You'll be fine.
That would be a weird way to die. Death by russet potato.
crushed to death by russet potato pallet.
Some say he was baked.
Oh, wow.
He died next to a pig farm, and he just happened to have a pallet of sour cream right next to him.
On your tombstone, the only thing it'll say will be Spud.
No, I think it should say something like haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna potate.
You are king of the dad jokes. I will give you that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
They're multiplying, by the way. That's both of them now.
I can see they look almost identical from that angle.
Don't mess with
Unless you're in the room with him, you can't tell them apart. But he's 6 inches taller than she is, but you really can't see it the way he carries himself. They're called Velcro dogs for a reason, because they don't leave you alone.
Makes sense.
You guys are fine.
Hey, just speaking of dad jokes, why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Oh God.
He was
Hold on, let me get
outstanding. Yeah. He was outstanding in his field.
Oh God.
Come on, that was a good one.
Yeah. What about what the pirates say on his 80th birthday?
I know this one.
I don't. So let's hear it.
I eat white tea. Yeah, see?
I know.
Wait,
Yes.
All right. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
You'd think it'd be the R, but it'd actually be the C.
Oh god. What he say there at the bottom? He thought,
He thought it was the Matrix for a second with both dogs.
no, it's two of them. They're just going to keep crawling into frame at this point. So
Oh, they're welcome in the stream. And, apparently, I should put a Shelby roll bar in the Mustang and an X brace to hold it up. But then I don't know if I could put a back seat. I'd have to take out the back seat.
yeah, seats are overrated.
It'd be worth it to have that pallet of potatoes up there.
You need to upgrade your shocks.
Oh, definitely. Actually, I ought to take photos and send them to you guys. The suspension situation on that car is pretty sketchy, and it probably wasn't safe to drive the 300 something miles to my new place.
I couldn't bet that bad.
Yeah, I was glad that you made it, but you've started a dad joke-a-thon because now people are putting them in the comments. So
Oh, good. So apparently, Cold War Motors has he dailies a 49 Fraser and a 26 Model T. I think a Model T is a pretty practical vehicle, honestly, even though it's ancient.
Well, they made them practical. That was the whole point.
think of how many potatoes you could throw in that thing.
What was the top speed in one of those? Like 15 miles an hour?
Maybe 20.
Well, I would say
Maybe 20?
Probably around 30. Honestly, probably in the 30s, but that would be, you probably can't stop it at that point.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why we have rules on the road nowadays, because a lot of people didn't stop.
Rules only matter if you get caught. Come on now. You've seen enough YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah, breaking the rules is kind of our shtick at this point.
Well, I mean, your shtick's kind of getting caught, but the rest of us.
Hey. Yeah, it's fair, but
We've got a couple jokes in chat now, so we should probably read these. My wife said I should do lunges to stay in shape. That would be a big step forward. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sad
really
my dog died. It's a real shame. He was just learning to get by without food. That one's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I don't think you've got two fans here with that one. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, apparently he had his Model T up to 40 miles an hour. Now, okay. Up in Canada, Shopcat, do you guys use miles per hour or kilometers per hour? I gotta know.
Kilometers, but it might vary by province.
I would think kilometers, but I don't know. I live so dang close to Canada, and I've never actually been to Canada. I feel kind of bad about it.
I mean, literally, if I go to the end of my street, Canada's 3 miles away from me. If you can get there by rowboat, or if you didn't mind swimming through international shipping channels, you could swim there.
we are all closer to Canada than we are to each other. That's weird to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what's weird is there's only a state between the new guys and me, but Montana is so dang wide, it's almost like there's 3 states between us.
Oh yeah, there's only a state in between us, and it's a hell of a state too. Just nothing but flat land.
Yeah. North Dakota's so flat you can watch your dog run away for like 3 days.
But it is too. Trees cease to exist as soon as you cross that Minnesota border. Like going from Minnesota into Fargo, just all of a sudden the trees are like,
Yeah, there's no more trees. There's a lot of dust hitting you in the face for no reason.
yeah.
Down, Max, down.
Oh, apparently it is kilometers per hour.
That's the wrong unit of measurement right there.
Yeah, we use freedom units.
Right.
A boot, how many kilometers per hour you go, generally speaking, eh?
Oh, Canada jokes. I've never heard those before, being 45 feet from Canada.
We still get Fargo jokes. Like the other day, some like guy from Texas was talking about the movie Fargo. Like, I thought you all talked with an accent. Like, no, sir, you talk with an accent.
Yeah, I mean,
For every single person that talks like on Minnesota, they have to, when they talk to anybody in Minnesota, they have to find the one person that's like,
The lady.
oh yeah, don't you know?
Oh, don't you know?
Yeah, you bet. Mm-hmm.
Such
Yeah,
a
I
tiny
expected you guys to sound like Vice Grip Garage, so you know. I was disappointed.
I thought, yeah.
We don't talk like that now.
So
Yeah.
apparently they measure mileage in beavers per liter of maple syrup up there.
Well, I think potato mile per gallon thing could work. We just have to come up with the system to measure.
Yeah. Well, how would you measure? Would you just measure like how much voltage each potato has after you've used a bit of it, or like how baked the potato is, like how tender it is, or?
We have to do a lot of science to figure this out.
You
A lot of
set
pointless,
up
in-depth science that
a
will cost
voltmeter.
$millions of dollars.
Just take two ends of a voltmeter and stick it into a potato and see what you get.
But yeah, see the voltage drop, voltage loss over time. Does it spike? Does it last? If you unplug it, can you plug it back in? There's things you have to learn. There's science involved here, my friend. Science.
I imagine
Yeah,
at
we can
some
power-
point.
we can
it's
power
gonna
one of
be
your
able to
amps-
work.
No offense, 6%, but we're hooking pallets of potatoes up to start a car. We're winging it at this point. We need science to this shit out. This
So
is
it's
a
good
let's see what happens kind of moment, not a let's plan this out and see. No, this is a throw all reasoning to the wayside. Well, let's find out what happens. Start hooking that shit up.
Well, yeah, I'm fine with that, but once we've proven, the A factor, we've got to go to keep going. You got to see how far that pallet of potatoes is going to take you.
For sure.
All
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
to the finish line. Whether I gotta
You never
walk
know. This could be something new.
I think it could be. We could be on the verge of new renewable energy for locomotion in automobiles. Screw electric cars, potato-powered electric cars.
Yeah,
Because
and then you can make money afterwards.
Yeah. And those electric cars,
Organic.
they're what?
Organic, nature friendly, all natural.
I can
All
just see
natural.
in the future, it's going to be like, oh yeah, I filled up my car today. 6 potatoes worth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and
6 bags of
once you're
potatoes.
done using,
to fill my car up.
this is perfect. Once you're done with the potatoes, you take them, you put them in a fryer. You use that fryer oil to power the diesel to bring in the potatoes, so it's self-renewing. It's literally a cycle.
We solved the world's problems.
Right here, right
Just
on
your
this live
potatoes.
stream. We don't call it Epic Live for nothing. This is where the
Yeah,
real
there's a reason.
stuff happens.
This is the epic part.
Yeah.
Potato powered car.
Apparently Montanans have an accent, and Whitty can't see it, but maybe that's his problem because you hear accents instead of seeing them.
I
That
tried
could
listening
be.
for
That
it
could be.
first. Yeah.
I don't know. Do I have an accent? I'm a Montanan now, but I didn't used to be. I just crossed the border and started talking weird.
Well, apparently there's a Florida accent. So
Yeah.
I had to outgrow my Florida accent when I moved back to Michigan. So
What's a Florida accent?
you just say things weird. I don't know. It's not really an accent. It's more like you just. Well, I grew up with everyone from everywhere, so if you put me in a room with somebody long enough, I'll pick up their accent. It's just force of habit.
Well,
So what you're saying is a Florida accent is just lowering your IQ a couple of levels. Basically, a Florida accent.
No, I didn't come back to the state talking like this now, Dan. Come on now. You got to go up the food chain. You got to go out of Florida. You got to go at least to the Panhandle to get the. You got to go up.
Gotta go up.
okay, but in Minnesota, do you guys say like "oh sure, bud" and stuff like that?
Not unless I'm making fun of it.
Yeah, not normal speak. Yeah.
So you're not like every Boston person I've ever met, where it's that thick Boston accent.
No, we don't have a thick Boston accent up here.
No.
We're in Minnesota.
The quintessential
Again,
Boston.
you got
Everybody from Boston sounds like this.
Yeah,
everybody says Bostonian.
Get out of here.
So it's not like every Minnesotan says Minnesota, don't you know? And yeah.
Oh yeah, you betcha.
Oh, don't you know? That's what we do all the time, don't we, Tom?
I did.
Okay.
I rotated out dogs. I'm just back down to one. This is the other one.
Oh. So apparently, Shopcat said my wife is really mad at the fact that I have no sense of direction, so I packed my stuff and right instead of left.
I get it.
I don't know if that one deserves a chuckle.
Do
And,
we have any topics for tonight? I feel like we've been talking about potatoes for the past hour.
Golf clap. That deserves a golf clap. Come on, golf clap.
We've got more topics if you want to do more topics.
Well, it's up to you.
Oh, yeah. All right, what musical instruments did you play as a kid?
All of them.
None of them.
All of them and none of them? Wait.
Yes.
So what's all of them though? More than just guitar?
Yeah, guitar, drums, bass, ukulele, banjo, oboe, French horn. I played a lot of stuff. Dabbled in keyboards.
Nice.
Mandolin. I want to get a mandolin again. Those things are cool.
That is cool. They've got like 8 strings, right?
Yep.
But it's kind of like a 12-string guitar, so they got like
Almost like tuned the same way a ukulele is, but it's just instead of the 4 strings, each string's doubled up, almost like a 12-string.
Are they octaves then? Or...
I believe so.
Oh, welcome, Nick McQueen. Welcome.
Going
All right, 6%.
I played the trumpet poorly in middle school. That's about the extent of it. So.
Just in middle school, and then you were done, or?
Yeah, no, it was. They gave me the mute when we were playing, so there was a reason for that.
I like Tom played everything. So I didn't play any brass though. Didn't play any brass. Just strings and percussion. So mostly percussion, but.
My son is going to school with me again this year, and he's signing up for band. I asked him the other day what he wants to play, or if he even thought about it at all. He hasn't never been like musical at all, or had any like anything that would lead me to believe you'd want to do anything like that until now. But he said he was looking into playing the trombone. Like, that's pretty sweet, bud. Like,
yeah.
I've never played the trombone, so it'd be something I've never had the opportunity to play.
Are we boring you, Dan?
Well, I'm just looking to see what size these are. G60 15s.
What is G60?
Yeah, that's that old system. It's like a
Yeah.
215 something.
So
The
there's
old cars,
emphasis-
their tire codes are like a G and then a number or a letter and a number.
not for highway use. We're gonna test that.
You gonna ride them on the road?
Well, yeah, of course. That's the only place the Mustang goes is on the road for now.
For now. And then it'll go on the track.
It's gonna go on track this spring. See
Yo,
what it does.
hey. We actually have an important question there at the bottom, Junkyard, for you.
Oh. Why are double closed-end wrenches actually good? Well, I can tell you why I think they're good, but it's just my opinion. It's handy because you got two sizes that are close to each other usually. And so if you pull it off and you're like, I think this is a 1/2 inch, you stick it on there and it's a little bit bigger, you flip the wrench around, it's 9/16, and then you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're working on something, usually you'll have a bunch of bolts that are pretty close in size, and so you got one wrench to do most of it. Or 2 wrenches
Also,
instead of 4.
You're less likely to round the bolts off as well as you would with an open-end wrench.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like using the closed end as often as I can. I do have one double closed end wrench that's a little bit weird, and I'm trying to figure out why it was made this way. And one end is 7/8 and the other end is like 1 1/16. So it's like a huge gap between the two sizes. And I'm wondering if maybe it was made for like trailer hitch balls or something like that.
Yeah,
Some
probably
sort of like
industry-specific.
Machinery. I used to work at Bang Printing. We had a lot of weird like sizes in the same wrench. It had like normally they were like a close-ended both sides, but it was always like specific for the machine. Like that could be it. Like one side
Probably
needs
some industry
part, a
standard
small
thing.
part.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I do have like an old Ford wrench from a 1940s Ford, and it's got one side fits the spark plugs and the other side fits the head bolts for the engine, and I guess they gave them away with the cars or something.
Yeah, you actually had to tune your car every couple thousand miles with a lot of those older vehicles. You oil change included a valve adjustment.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't mind, I want to promote that. What we talked about with Woody, and then the shop tour thing, if you don't mind, before we get out of here.
Yeah, go for it. That can be our closing thing. So go for it.
I'm starting a new series called Michigan Makes on my channel, where I'm hopefully going to be monthly, where I'm going around to different businesses in the state and showing what they make. The first one is A&A Manufacturing. They make a lot of race car tube ends, parts, rod ends. Excuse me. A lot of hard parts, hard mounting parts, and stamped materials. So that's the first one. The next one's going to be Sweet Manufacturing. They make a lot of steering components. But I'm looking forward to this series. I think it's going to be great, and it'd be good to show people what it takes to make some of these parts and some of the different things. And this shop is really cool. They've been around since the 1960s, and it's a tight-knit family type of business. If you want to put up that one photo I threw in Discord.
Yeah, let me find it.
That gives you an idea of that's their biggest press. It's a 200-tonner.
Yeah, this thing is pretty crazy looking.
And that's technically small by like automotive standards because you're at 500,000 tons, but that's huge for a small business. He's about 5'8". That thing is as big as the building. They actually had to drop it in with a crane.
That's crazy.
That'll stamp up to 5/8 inch thick steel, and that is huge.
Yeah.
It shakes the whole building.
Huh.
That is a heck of a machine right there.
Yeah.
How old is that machine?
It was either 1912 or 1915.
Oh.
Made by a company called Blitz.
Huh. It's crazy that something that old is still useful today. I think that's really cool.
The nice is you'll see in the video. The neat part in the video is he's got a lot of older machines, and you can actually see the way that they changed open gearing versus closed stuff. Lots more safety. The components and the parts are hidden in the newer machines where they're exposed in the older stuff. It's amazing to see the difference. Yeah, there's one that they use on a regular, like a daily basis, probably every 2-3 hours. They use a machine. It's from the 40s, and it runs as long as a lot of that stuff. If you keep it up, it'll just keep running because it's so work hardened in and just does that one. They don't do a lot of stuff, and they won't hold the tolerance. Like they hold stuff to the low thousands, which is great for that kind of material, but. The stuff like CNCs will hold it to tenths and hundreds. And this stuff won't do that, but it's not meant to. They don't need to make that accurate a part for what they're making. Because everything they make is, by and large, going to be modified or used to fit on a race car or an off-road buggy. Or they make stuff for almost every industry, but they specialize in race car parts and they do off-road stuff as well.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to
I had a
those
great time.
shop tours.
Yep. No, I had a really good time. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope people watch, and I hope it gives them business because they were great to deal with. They were very kind to me, gave me a bunch of time, and I really do appreciate it.
That's cool. All right, gentlemen. Any other closing statements besides bets on the potato batteries?
I mean, I don't know. You got any last words? Beautiful.
Excellent.
Yes.
Oh, do we want to do the thing for Whitty?
Which thing?
Oh, his what he's trying to
Cars.
sell.
Oh yeah. Here, let me bring up the pictures.
Yeah.
Whitty's Garage. He's a cool dude. He has a YouTube channel too, and he's in the chat right now. And he has a couple classic cars that he's looking to sell. Let me bring up the photos. It's got a 69 Mustang and a 55 F100. So if anybody's interested, photos. Here we go.
But yeah.
All right. So here's the Mustang, and I'll read the description he sent too. And there's the F100, which comes with a 429 engine. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's what he sent.
Yeah, and then there's the inside of the Mustang. There's the outside of the Mustang. And the Mustang has a 302, I believe he said.
Yeah, he said the F100 has a 429 Thunderjet, or it does run, was super smooth right before it was pulled. 302 Mustangs in pieces, needs rebuilding.
Yep. Yeah. And he said that it includes 2 hoods and 2 front fenders for the F100.
Yeah, he said he had quite a bit of parts for both vehicles, and contact him on his email, and that's probably the best way. He can give you a lot of the detail.
Yeah, and his email is whittysgarage@outlook.com. Here, I'll put that in here.
Oh, that's cool, Jesse. Jesse Duke said he has a steering wheel from Sweet. that's going to be my next video. There is so much history with that company. It's amazing. Just a ton of stuff I'm going to research because Randy Sweet, who started the company, was in a lot of ways akin to Smokey Yunick in terms of innovation and pushing the boundaries as much as he could. So I've got a lot of research. I'm looking forward to really diving into that one for next month's video.
That's cool.
But definitely check out ANA. They make a bunch of cool stuff.
And that is Whitty's email if you're interested in a 69 Mustang or a 55 F100. Cool.
And yeah, he's in Montana. He's near you, right? Junkyard, he's in Montana out there.
Yeah, he's near me in Montana. And so we could figure out some way to get them to people, unless they're way too far away. Then they'll have to come up with their own ways to come get them. Cool. Well, you guys have anything else? Any last words? Nope. Okay.
No, no, it was great talking to everybody again. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Looking forward to meeting a lot of you at No Name Nationals and the other crazy stuff. Please check out everybody's content. Everybody puts out a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff, and we're always available if you've got questions. You can reach us all on the comments section, community tabs, and our emails, and we'll definitely answer as much of stuff as we can for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Have a good one, everybody.
Not even
Take it easy.